right, Siddiq. So, yeah, let's see some of the technical discussion. Let's see how it goes, right? So, coming to SQL to start with. So, what's the purpose of creating foreign key in an SQL table, and what happens if you don't create a foreign key?
Okay, so foreign key is basically preventing invalid entry. It's like a what we can say. It's maintain the relationship between the tables. So if you maintain the primary key and foreign key relationship, and you are trying to insert the invalid data, let's say you are inserting a key in the child table that is not present in the parent table, so that will become the invalid. So foreign key basically restrict the same. And also one more thing you will get from the foreign key and primary key relationship, like on delete cascade thing. So if you are deleting the parent record, so if you set on delete cascade, so it will delete the child foreign key record as well, where those foreign key is repeated in the child table. And if you are not having the foreign key primary key, then you can do the join, you can get the data from both the table, but that constraint will not work, like on delete cascade and all.
Okay, okay. Okay. So I'll share a mail to you. Siddiq, you can present your screen and open your email box.
Email.
Yeah.
Okay. I am sharing my screen. Is screen
Yeah,
visible?
and yes, yes, it is visible, and you can open your email.
Yes. This
Refresh. See, you would have received my mail.
So have you sent anything to me, like?
Yeah, yeah, I just
Okay,
sent. See,
one second. Let me check in the spam as well. But I haven't received.
is it not there in the spam?
No, 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 not in the spam as well. I have checked that.
I'll send it again.
So, Dilip, do I need to wait, or you are sending it again? Or you can, if it is linked, you can paste it on the chat box as
I
well.
just resent it. Just
Okay.
try once.
Okay. No issue.
I'm not getting it. Just send me a hi message. I'll send you the mail. Delete RTL. Just send me a test mail.
Done.
Okay. I got it. There is a screen, small screen task. Well, there is an input table which is in your okay, the
Okay.
table which has some columns and rows. You need to write an SQL query on that table to get the output.
Okay. To
Yeah,
get the output like this, right?
yeah, yeah.
So what it is doing, 1004,200. So the salary for A is summing the salary based on group, and gender I need to display, like if M need to display, yeah, okay. Okay, so okay. First of all, I need to do the group by. Group by based on name, then and to display name and sum of salary. Name as a group, gender, to write case when then case gender is equal to M, then female Gender. Dilip, done.
Okay. So coming salary, case, group by name. Yeah, that's correct. So let's just try another one. Okay. So this is again an SQL task. If you can open, there is an input table here.
Item
It
IDs.
has item-wise sales details on every day.
Okay.
So item number one on 13th, 100 numbers was sold. 14th, 15th. Similarly for item number 2, 17th, 19th, and 20th. So what are the quantity that has been sold?
Sold. Yeah.
In output what I am looking is one extra column. There's a difference between the previous day to current day
Okay.
for that particular item. If you see the first record is 0, why? Because there was no
No previous.
12th January. Yeah. So second day, if you can see, there is 200 difference because the sales number jumped from 100 to
100 to
300.
300. Yeah.
Yeah. So that differential data I wanted to display.
Okay.
Can you try out how do we achieve this?
Okay. Mm. Difference for last week. Difference is 0 or 200. How can I get 200? So the current date sale and last date sale. So select from input table and star. Sales लास्ट की सेल निकालने के लिए where the sale is equal to this date minus 1 date का सेल previous day का सेल रहेगा that since minus 300 minus 100. So current date sale minus previous date. Star, comma, sales minus I tried Dilip, but I'm not sure it is correct or not. So what I'll
Okay.
do, select is star, so it will display all column that we want here.
Okay.
Now what I am doing, I am just using the sub query to calculate the previous day sale. So what I'll do, I use here like a date diff function for the sale and do a minus 1 on the sale. So it will find the previous day's date that sale is having, and I am checking with this sale. So if it is matching, so I am calculating this and storing as a alias as a previous day sale, and it consider and this query will work as a computed column. So this output I give an alias as a diff.
Okay. Okay. Fine, no issues. But yeah, this has to be corrected.
The syntax of this might be corrected. We can do the Google on the syntax because I don't remember like the parameter thing. But the logic.
So how did you apply it? Date difference can be applied for different dates, right? But how did you apply date diff function for sale number minus 1?
Oh, sorry. Sorry. I need to use date column. Sorry, that was missed when I was building the logic. So from the date I am doing a minus 1. So in the current date it will do the minus 1. And we also need to, I think, handle like those date are not present. So we at that time we can use the NVL function. If record is null, then we need to return the 0 as a difference.
Okay. Okay, fine, no issue. So, what is the transaction management in SQL?
Sorry?
transaction management in SQL.
Transaction.
Is my voice clear to you?
It is bit low actually, but it's workable, no problem. We can go
Okay,
ahead with
okay.
that one. So
Yeah.
that transaction, if we want to, if we have a bunch of SQL statement, and we want those statement will be executed like 0% or like 100%, no half, like in the three statement, no half done statement we want. So we will put those statement into the transaction boundaries, and those boundaries are begin tran and end tran. On the completion of transaction, we are doing commit. If we are doing commit, then it will save record in the database, otherwise it will roll back all the half done SQL queries.
Okay. How does sync works in SQL? What steps that we need to take for better indexation?
What I need to take, sorry.
So so how does the indexing works in SQL?
Indexing works, okay. So indexing, when we have created index on a table, so what it will do, it will create a numbering for all the bunch of record. Then we are if we are querying the record, so instead of going to the record, it will search from the index. So
Okay.
so let's say we have 10 records, so it will arrange the record and assign the index to those record, and then so from those index we can get the performance, better performance.
Okay. So okay. So coming to object-oriented concepts. So what kind of object-oriented concept that you have used in the projects?
We are creating class, so class is supports like class object, so encapsulation and abstraction we are doing. Definitely inheritance is the main concept what that we are doing. Again, we are overloading and overriding the functions, so polymorphism we are using, and abstraction for class, encapsulation for class, abstraction for object, inheritance, polymorphism. So this concept we are using in our project.
Okay. So how does abstraction helps you? So can you try to give some kind of syntax and explain me how does that work?
So abstraction is like hiding complexity for a specific object and showing relevant details. So let's say we need to develop a software for grocery store, like, or not a grocery, in my project, like the customer object. Okay, so the customer in the customer object, we have a lot of function and complexity like invoicing, customer related thing, and customer properties. So we are hiding those complexity inside the class. So we are creating a class, and we
Can
call
you try
that
to take a notepad and give me a rough syntax? How do you create? How do you
yeah.
so how does actually abstraction works?
Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay. So let's say we have one entity called customer, and customer has property
We can
like,
take the syntax, not the theoretical code. So that's what.
so what I will do, I will encapsulate this into a class like public string, let's say f name, and one more function, get invoice. So let's say this is our entity, and these are the different information related to entity. What we are doing,
Right.
we are encapsulating all these different information into single unit. That is called encapsulation. And also we are hiding the complexity, like we can add more function, complex function related to customer, and we are hiding all complexity inside this black box called this get invoice function. And if you want relevant data, so what we will do, we will create a customer object like c1 is equal to new customer for this, and c1 dot get invoice function, get invoice amt function. So what we are doing actually here, we are hiding the complexity of getting the invoice. Like for getting the invoice, we will be having a 200 line of code. So those 200 line of code will be hidden in this function, and we are just bothering about getting invoice amount. So this is actual abstraction that we are doing. So hiding complexity and
How
showing
does
the
it differentiate? How does it get differ with the encapsulation?
Encapsulation is the general thing, like if we talk about the customer class. So when we are talking all of the customer, let's say we are having a 200 300 customer, so all customer represent to customer class. But if we talk about a specific customer like Sadiq Ansari is a customer, so then we talk about the object. So that is actually abstraction. So I will create a real time customer abstraction c1 into as a Sadiq as a c1 here. So the object creation is like abstraction, and wrapping up of data, that is encapsulation.
Okay. So any kind of design patterns that you have used?
I have seen those design pattern in our project, but I have created only that singleton one. But the factory is also used in our project, so I know the factory design pattern and singleton design pattern as well. But I have written only for the singleton one, for one of the class.
Okay. 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 So why do we use post back method in ASP.NET? Is post back.
Post back. Uh, that post back in I work with MVC only. I think that post back is in web form, right?
Yes, yes. Okay, you didn't work on web forms.
Yeah.
Okay. So you work with web APIs, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
web
you
API.
meant web API. Okay. So, web APIs, how does the routing works and
Okay. Routing, when we are hitting any URL in web API, you are asking, right? Yeah.
yeah.
So when we are hitting any URL from the postman or any where for the API, so first
Okay.
that request goes to the routing table. In the routing table, it will identify the controller and request type like get, post, put, what it is request type is, and then it will execute the respective action method for the same. So
Okay.
we have two types of routing that we can do. One is for the conventional routing, that is we can do in the route.config, and another one is attribute routing using the route attribute, route prefix attribute. We can add those attribute on the controller and action as well.
Okay. So, have you used Ajax calls?
Yes, in the jQuery.
Okay. So, what is the purpose of the Ajax calls, and can you give a rough syntax? How do you
Yes,
call in
definitely.
API?
So Ajax is when we require to call the backend code from the jQuery, from the UI front end code. So we will use $.ajax for the same, and we will specify the URL and data
Okay.
for the same, and request type in the data option. In the option, we can specify request type, success callback, error callback, and different callback that we require like before send, after send, this.
Okay.
Do you want me to write the syntax for the same?
Yeah, if you can, it will be great.
Yeah, I am sharing my screen for this. So $.ajax function. The first we need to specify the URL. So web
Okay.
URL, any URL. Then we need to specify data, then option. So option is like object. In the option we can specify the success callback. In success callback we need to write response, error callback. If any error happens, then we can use this callback function. So here we use error, and if we want before send, we want to display the loader and all, so we can use that callback as well, but those are optional. So these two are mandatory. On the success call, we use this, and if that call is successfully executed, so the JSON will be in this variable, so we can assign this variable to any UI control. And if error occurs, then the error and the error message comes here, so we can display this error message on the UI site.
Okay. Fine, that's fair enough. So, when you're implementing any web application, so what kind of security aspects that you consider? So that your application is not compromised by attackers.
Okay, so if we are implementing the security, so the first security I know is like RJWT token. So we can secure the our API and our action method with the JWT token. So we need to configure a token server, and from the token server we need to pass user ID password of the API key. There were different ways. So we are using the API key method. So we are passing the API key to token server, and we are getting the token with expiration date time. and those token we are passing in the authorized header of the API. So based on that, API is secure, so no third person or the unauthorized access can be made on those APIs. And
Right.
one more security thing I know, like anti-forgery token. So it is preventing the cross site scripting attack, like anyone is injecting the JavaScript, that is malicious JavaScript into our action method, so that will be prevented.
Okay. So, as a real-time scenario, if application stops failing, how do you find the root cause
Okay, so
in production?
we also have production environment for the skill survey. So if anything failed there, so first of all we need to check the production log for the same. So in the production, because we don't have access the production database, so we are going to the production log, and based on production log we are trying, and also we are asking for the client, there is a client SQL developer, so we are asking log format SQL appender data for the logging, and we investigating based on log. So let's say we have found the stack trace in the log. So based on those stack trace, we are trying to reproduce those information in the lower environment. So we have two more lower environment. One is UAT environment, and one is dev environment. So we are usually we are trying those to reproduce those in the UAT with the help of tester and making the proper data that we are having in the production. If it is reproducible, then after reproduction of this error, we investigating the error is occurred at our side or some other team, because it's a product. Skill survey is a product, so there are a lot of our team are working here. So I am working in the post hire. If those error is related to post hire, so we will be investigating more. Otherwise, we are routing to a specific team by asking the project manager. And if it is in the post hire, so what we are doing, we need to check those error is from the UI side, or from the backend side, or from the SQL server, I mean database side. So based on that, we are investigating the error by reproducing in the dev environment.
Okay, okay, fine. So yeah, I think I covered most of the things which I wanted to check. So you have anything, any queries, any doubts from your
The
end?
only doubt I have, you are hiring for a specific project, or it's a bulk hiring? I mean, after hiring, I need to assign a different project, or you will be my team member if all things went well. So, what type of hiring is this is?
Yeah, this is so we are a product-based company, technology company, and we have different products, and I am heading one product, right? Out of
Okay.
8 products, so I'm leading one product, and I'm hiring for my team.
Okay.
So it's not.
So, what
And
will be the technology for this?
so we are using MVC, APIs, and SQL is a major.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, understood.
and the rest of the things CSS, HTML, you know.
Yeah,
how
yeah,
it
that
goes.
I know.
Yeah.
So but the most of work we need to do in SQL side.
SQL and MVC.
Okay, understood.
Yeah.
The same profile I am having as of now in the skill survey. So we are writing stored procedure and lot of logic written in the stored procedure SQL side, and from the MVC, from the API we are calling the stored procedure, and from the UI side using the jQuery we are calling the API to render using the UI.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Fine.
That's it.
Okay. Okay, Sadiq. See you then.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.